This is Coogan Cassius for IFL TV in association with MGM Marbella. We're in Sheffield here. With me I've got promoter Dennis Hobson. Alright Dennis?
How you doing? Cool?
Very well, thank you. Chilled out Sheffield evening.
Beautiful. It's like Marbella, isn't it? It's right.
It is.
Marbella comes to Sheffield. Yeah. Nice part of the world.
Absolutely. First of all, congratulations winning the purse bid yesterday for Randy Caballero and Stuart Hall. A few people would have expected that. You pulled it out of the bag.
Yeah, but it's I've done it before, and you need an element of luck anyway. Obviously, it's a game of poker, and it's just how you play your cards, and it's how you keep your nerve. And I think if you just work to a budget, and you just, because boxing is not like any other industry. If it was the scrap metal business or some other businesses where I'm involved in, you work your figures out, you work to the bottom line. But I've always been of a mind that sometimes you can have your loss leaders or you can have your investments. Now some promoters won't work like that, and I always think long term. And you know, working with Box Nation, working with Francis, and I think together we can become a lot stronger. And I think this just helps make a bit of a statement that, you know, we're not here just to get a few quid out of the game and just move kids on, and you take your chance, and sometimes you want to give your kid the best chance, and off the back of that you can have your other talent coming through. So I'm always mindful of that. It's not about just making a quick buck, sending a kid abroad, which almost ends his career or does end his career. So, you know, it just gives another kid another chance. Stuart Hall's come from Norway. It's a Cinderella story. A contentious decision that he lost against Paul Butler. Managed to get him high up in the ratings because I lobbied for him with the IBF. Something I've never really done before in that kind of situation. And we got him rated the highest contender there, and deservedly he was, because I thought it was a very close fight with Paul. Paul relinquished the belt, and we're in for a purse bid with Goldenboy for Caballero. So Caballero's waited a long time and deserves his shot, but you know, thankfully we're in control of the situation where Stuart fights, and you know, we'll discuss it and we'll place it where it suits us all.
Obviously this is down to you how much you want to disclose, but can you just tell us the procedure of how that purse bid was won?
Well, we had an offer, a couple of offers from Goldenboy, Robert Diaz, and I've always got on really well with Robert, and but they just more or less wanted to go straight to purse bid. So I think they played their cards, and I just wanted to beat them in the purse bid. If they'd been reasonable, we'd have looked at it, I'd have discussed it with Stuart, but he was mindful, he wanted to fight here, and once a boxer says that to me, then I'm going to do whatever I can to make it here. And as long as everybody's reasonable on our side of the pond, our side of the fence, financially, then there's more chance of me making it work. And that's what happened. Stuart were reasonable with his expectations financially. You know, he'd lost his title, and we've got to, you know, come back to the drawing board financially, but it's an opportunity for him to get his belt back. And you know, he's 34-year-old, but he's a young 34-year-old, and some fighters, some promoters would maybe think about the next kid coming through then. But I don't think that about Stuart, like I didn't do with Clinton Woods, and there's still plenty of mileage in Stuart, and I think he can win this title back, and I think he can hold on to this title for the next couple of years. I think he's still some improvement in him, technically as well as mentally. I think there's some improvement in him, and if I can help in that department, I will do.
I'm assuming Stuart was more than prepared to obviously travel to America to take the fight with Caballero if need be.
It was, but the date that was being thrown around was, and it's by the rule book as well, is the 22nd of August. Now that was a bit touch and go for Stuart, and we didn't want to. It wouldn't have got the best preparation, so I was mindful of that when I won the purse bid, you know, when I was bidding for the fight anyway. So he didn't want to go on the 22nd of August, but I wouldn't let Goldenboy know that. And that's one of the reasons why I bid as high, and thought, well, we'll make it work. We'll get the best preparation for Stuart, and I think Stuart at his best will take some beating at bantamweight. And I think this kid's never fought anybody like Stuart. He'll look at him and he'll think he's like maybe a bit basic in some of the things he does, but he does a lot of basic things very, very well, and he's very, very strong at the weight. And I don't think it was ultimately completely at his best for the Paul Butler fight. Mentally, I think he started very slow, and I think he was still capable. If they fought again, I think Stuart, I'd still back Stuart to beat Paul Butler. I like Paul, I think he's a talent, but like I said in the interviews before that fight, I think it's not quite his time yet at bantamweight. I think he's better off winning titles and unifying at Superfly, and that's what he's gone back down to do, to maybe unify the belts at Superfly. So this is Stuart's time now, and I think he can win this belt again, and I think it'll be a really exciting fight, because this kid Caballero is a good fighter. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's a great, but I think he's a fighter what Golden Boy think a lot of. But I think they were underestimating Stuart, and especially on home soil, I fancy Stuart stronger.
I mean, interesting that this, obviously, this purse bid that you've won is come in the midst of this debate that's been going on for the last few weeks about home advantage, fighters going abroad. I mean, it's been done to death. I mean, I've done about 20 interviews about it myself, you know, getting everyone's different opinions about it. But you're obviously a promoter that strongly believes that that edge of home advantage is crucial.
Yeah, I mean, if you take your chance when you go abroad. I mean, look, when Lloyd Honeyghan beat Don Curry, when I think Nigel Benn beat Doug DeWitt, obviously Carl Froch beat Taylor, but you know, it's a bit more, you're playing in more of a game of lottery. I mean, if Taylor stands up against Froch for the last 20 seconds, or he goes down on one knee, Froch doesn't win the world title. So at home, I believe that Froch in that Taylor fight would have won that fight easier. Jamie McDonald against Sergio, he even said after that was the difference between him winning and not winning the world title. So there's very fine lines between success and failure, and if you can have that little bit of an edge where you've got your home comforts. I had Clinton Woods, he fought in the States 3 times and he lost 3 times involved in world title fights. So if Clinton fights at home in 2 of them 3, the first one were against Roy Jones, who was unbeatable at the time. The other 2 was Antonio Tarver and Tavares Cloud. I strongly believe now Clinton would have beat them 2 at home, but they were coming towards the end of his career. He wanted to cash, he wanted to get, you know, some big money fights, did it, still fancied him. The training maybe didn't go as well, but here you get your own comforts, you're in your comfort zone, you get the best out of yourself.
Can I give you a hypothetical situation?
Go on in.
Say you've got a fighter that's landed a mandatory position, but in your head you know that he's a massive underdog and very little chance of winning that fight. What do you do then as regards to a purse bid situation? Do you back him to the heels because you want that home advantage, or do you sort of cut your losses and think let him go out to America and take his chances there? What do you do?
I think it's up for discussion, but I think sometimes I'm the eternal optimist, because Mike Tyson got beat when the other fellow was a massive underdog, and there's been, in certain situations, great fighters have off days and they get beat. So if you can just tip the odds slightly in your favour, you do it. And you know, I mean, with Roy Jones Jr., I won the purse bid for that. Spoke to Clinton, got him a massive payday. He was happy to go to the States because it would have made him a name in the States. So we took that chance. Every other time, when possible, I won the purse bid for Clinton to bring it here, and that's what helped him win a world title and helped him retain it. I think he held on to the IBF for 3 years. Not many fighters do that. So if you're asking me if a kid's a massive underdog, I'd still believe, I've never been in that situation, to that degree, a massive underdog, but I'd still do my best, unless the kid asked me otherwise, I'd still do my best to get it here.
What about money-wise? What if they're potentially earning a lot more money to go abroad than to fight here?
Well, then have that discussion. I said to him, what do you want to do? Do you want to earn money, or do you want to achieve a status? Money will come and go. I always said it. Money comes and goes, but the great nights, the achievements will last forever. And if you can make the history books, you make the history books. But there's a balance. Some kids might want to make themselves, you know, if they're getting a massive amount to go abroad, then I'll discuss it with them and say, look, what do you want to do? And I'll say, look, this is what I prefer you to do. And I'll just weigh it up. But I think when at all possible, from any starting point, I will try and get us in control of the situation, even if it's in same way fighting somebody from Asia or America. If we're on our same time zone, say it's not just here, say like I got Clinton fighting in Jersey, or if it were in France, or if it were in Spain, we're still in the home corner, because it's our promotion, we're still in our time zone, we're tipping things in our favour by being in the home corner, and that's as good as what you can do for any fighter.
Obviously this is a vacant title. Did this have a lot to do with the fact that you was able to compete with the purse bid in regards to Caballero, because it was a vacant title?
In what respect? What do you mean?
Well, if say Randy Caballero was the champion,
yeah,
and he was due to face Stuart Hall as a mandatory challenger, do you still go in how you did with the purse bid?
No, obviously not, because it's a different percentage ratio. The percentages are 75-25 in the champion's favour, so you are kicking uphill. But depending on how much backing you've got and how financially you think you can make it work, and you just have a go at it, and maybe you play a game of poker and try and achieve the purse bid. But it's a lot more difficult, obviously.
Yeah, so I mean that's the point I'm trying to make. If you're in a champion versus mandatory situation, then the odds are stacked against you.
Of course they are. But if you believe in somebody and you think, say if I did like I did with Jamie McDonald to get that fight over here, and I did it and I couldn't get the television for it at the time, I put it on prime time TV. I did over 200 grand in on that fight, but he'd have been over 200 grand better off if he'd have stayed with me. I'd have got me 200 grand back, plus I'd have made money on the top. We'd have all made money. So it was an investment. What I'm getting at is it was an investment, because I know that if McDonald wins, we move on, and I've got one or two other things lined up, because I'd had meetings in America and I was going to get him showcased in America. So we've got other fights lined up where it would be a lot more lucrative, and whether it was in America or here, we would have all made a lot more money. So what I'm getting at is, if I blew money, it would have been a loss leading, and make money further down the line. Hopefully. But I haven't on this one. But you know, when people are a little bit dishonourable, that rips the script up.
Okay. When are you looking to put on Hall versus Caballero, and where potentially?
I haven't done a big fight in Sheffield for a long time, so I'm itching to do something here. I was at Sheffield Arena to watch my daughter sing with the Kaiser Chiefs on Friday night, and I got on really well with them down there. The manager come to see me and said, "Dennis, when are you coming back?" I said, "Well, when you sharpen me a pencil and do me a better deal with the cost of the venue." Anyway, he said, "Come down and see us." So I said, "Look, let me have a look. I've got something coming up. If I can make it work and get some ticket sellers and make a big show in Sheffield, I'd love to come." So I'm going to look at the dates in Sheffield around the end of September, and if it goes the beginning of October, maybe I'll do it there. But I'd like to come here, Doncaster. Newcastle's an obvious one, but I want to come home and do a big one.
Sheffield, I reckon we should do it. Just a
yeah, well, I can have the weighing at our restaurant, the Brooklyn Steakhouse, which is the best steakhouse in Yorkshire. I haven't treated you to a steak yet.
No, you haven't.
Oh, you'll start knocking about with me a little bit. You'll put plenty of weight on.
Absolutely. Alright, well Dennis, do you want to tell us about your upcoming shows you've got finally?
Yeah, I'm co-promoting a show with Steffi Bull in Doncaster, September the 6th. It's a great fight. It's for the Commonwealth Bantamweight title. It's Martin Ward defending his title against Jason Cunningham. Obviously Martin just coming back after a technical draw with Stuart Hall, and Jason Cunningham, the English champion and the undefeated English champion. So smashing fight to top the bill, and there's a lot of local talent on there. I think Femi Fayantola's going to be on there, and I've got Ryan Davis making his debut. I've got Lewis Scott from the North East coming down. He's having his first fight since he's signed with me. And then we've got a show in Sheffield where I think I've got about 15 fights on already. Some great fighters, some kids making a debut. I've got Lewis Taylor fighting for eliminator for the English. I've got Liam Cameron, who's going to be fighting an eliminator for a Commonwealth title, and a lot of local talents, including Sam Matkin. There's the Nasser brothers. I think there's 3 of the Nasser brothers on. They bring a great crowd. I've got a super talent ABA champion just turning professional in Walid Din. Really excited about that kid, and like I said, there's a 16 strong card there and a lot of local talent. So my office is like Dragon's Den, you know, not just for offering business propositions, with all the fighters that want to come and sign with us. Now I can't make them all world champions. I do my bit, they've got to do their bit. They've got to help self-promote themselves as well. There's nobody better than Ross the boss at self-promoting. He's my man. He's the main.
Ross Birkinshaw, yeah.
Ross Birkinshaw. He's a better promoter than me. But he's on in Sheffield, so he's been working really well with Ryan Rhodes. He's going to surprise a lot of kids. He's learning a lot with Ryan. He's getting his confidence back. We're a smashing team, and he'll end up winning something, Ross.
Alright, well listen, Dennis Hobson, thanks for giving us 17 minutes and 33 seconds of your time.
Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure. Great, always great to see you. And you're always welcome with me, and I'm pleased you're going from strength to strength with your TV channel, your magazine show. One day I might be able to afford you.
One day.
One day. It might be in association with. That's when I know I've made it.
Watch this space.
Watch this space, mate.
Alright, this is Coogan Cassius with Dennis Hobson for IFL TV. Thank you very much.